Preparing live stream.
I think we're live.
Yes. All right. Welcome to the Node.js Foundation Technical Steering Committee meeting on March 7th in 2018. Could anybody take notes maybe since I'm talking? We have one announcement to make. That is our collaborator summit. The issue is in the document. Matteo, you want to say something about the summit?
Yes, of course. We will be doing the collaborator summit like the ones we have done in the past few years in Berlin, right before JSConf.eu. JSConf.eu is the leading JavaScript conference in Europe and one of the leading JavaScript conferences in the world. So you might want to attend to go there as well. But the important thing is about the Collaborator Summit. So we will host it on the 31st of May and 1st of June. And on the first day, we'll be at AWS offices and at AWS Berlin offices. And on the second day, we're still a surprise. We are still working through the location. We have a location, so don't worry, okay? But it will be a different one. So we will be traveling from AWS to another major JavaScript user in the world. The agenda that we are proposing is based on, there are some topics, some little presentations in the morning and some breakout rooms in the afternoon to discuss, to get to go deep in some of the topics. Please feel free to join the discussion on the issue. Also note that we have, there is a travel fund available. So if you are a collaborator to Node Core, if you're a member of the Node.js organization, then you can apply for some money from the travel fund. So you can fly over and get some a reimbursement for your travel and accommodation needs. And that's it.
Cool, thank you. Hope to see lots of you at the summit. Okay, any other announcements? Then we can move on the agenda. Our first two items are collaborator nominations. We have Thomas Watson, thank you Miles for the nomination, and Moonball, thanks Matteo. There were absolutely no objections. Welcome to being collaborators. And I think Moonball was already onboarded as well. So looking forward to seeing more pull requests from you. Okay, then the issue 15346 about buffers, we removed that from the agenda and instead we have the other buffer agenda on here, the tracking issue for runtime deprecation of buffer constructor. Trot put it on the agenda 19079. We had a TSC vote to deprecate the buffer constructor, and this tracking issue is because there's quite a bit to do before we can land this in 10. Some collaborators have voiced very valid concerns about how hard it will be to update. So one of our main points is to write a really comprehensive technical guide to make it easier for all the module authors and also for the users who are using modules. Trot put this on the TSC agenda mainly to get awareness.
There is the buffer constructor PR, the one that deprecates it. It's currently by my objection related to the that guide. So
yeah, so we have the technical problem of somebody needing to implement it and that PR to land, but
yeah, exactly, yeah. I think that's my main objection, because otherwise it's going to be.
Okay, so if we have a good update guide, then you would be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm super okay with deprecating it. The major problem is about the telling user what to do, because at this point it will be a blank error they don't have a clue about. So
yeah, and it's very frustrating if you upgrade Node and you get weird deprecation warnings and you can't figure out how to fix it when it's not even your module. We had a few people volunteer. ComCom offered to help us with the communication, but it's not a trivial task of writing good documentation. So
there is one thing to be said in there, that is that the PR is blocked, yes, but I think the thing is going through. I hope it will go through. One of the questions that has been raised and why that PR is a big contention is, should we do this for all the other runtime deprecations as well? This is a question mark that we probably need to solve as a TSC, but we don't have quorum, so very likely we can actually avoid the discussion and go back, put that back to GitHub.
Yeah, I think that discussion can also be first on GitHub, and only if we get to still stand there, we would have to vote, but okay. All right, so that's up here for awareness for everybody. Would be great if people can look at it, maybe can help with the documentation for the update guide. And then we removed the issue about the root certificates. We got consensus on the issue. And Rod added another issue. It's 18998. 18998, flaky parallel. It's a flaky test that seems to hint at a problem on Linux. So it's not super flaky. It's fairly reproducible from what Rod said. And I think he just wanted it on the agenda for awareness. So if anybody thinks he can help with this or has any idea, please look at the issue, maybe log on to the CI and see if anything reasonable, if you can figure anything out. Any comments on that?
No, not from me.
Okay. All right, then we have the tracking issues for the updates on the agenda. I think we don't have any updates from the Node Foundation board. And then we have the strategic initiatives updates. Michael Dawson put on here for NAPI. He requested to move that out of experimental. There's a pull request open. So far, there weren't any objections, which is great. There's a 72-hour wait period or something like that in our bylaws to move that, to get the full, before we can move this out of experimental. So if you have any objections, do it within the next 2 days. And if there aren't any, then Michael will submit a pull request to Node Core to take NAPI out of experimental. Yes, and then the future, he wrote documentation for Node add-on API, so I guess there will be a few improvements, and ecosystem adoption. So anybody out there writing native modules, try NAPI, let us know about anything you're missing or things that are unclear in the documentation. Does anybody else have strategic updates?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so that were all the agenda items we have. Anything else? I don't see any questions on the YouTube stream.
Oh yes, there is one thing to be, the Fortai notes that it's very good to mention about that if you have seen yourself being removed from the Node.js members team, there is nothing to worry. You are not a member of the team, but you are a member of a sub-team of the team, which means you still have access to everything. Okay, so don't worry, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, you did not get kicked out. It's just
you're not being kicked out. Okay, nope, not at all.
All right. Then that's the end of today's meeting. For any upcoming meetings, have a look at the Node.js Foundation calendar, which I don't have open right now, but there's more meetings coming up. Thanks everybody for listening in.